Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, and thanks for having us back for a brand new season. You'll have to put up with us live every week until the very end of December now. To say there's been a lot happening in fishing over the last 3 months while we've been on a break is an absolute understatement. Tonight, we look at Barrel Tuna caught last Saturday. We discuss the Barramundi growth rate in Hazelwood Pondage, and I hope you all have a wide TV screen for that. We look at the Kingfish being caught off Merimbula wharf. There's a Port Phillip Bay conference coming up soon, a big squid talk night next week, and Toolondo is in trouble once again in regards to water levels. All that and plenty more, but let's get into it. It's a big welcome to the star of the Seamaster Batteries commercial, Kallan Braid Ball. Cal, big shoes to fill because first night, Ads is away sick.
Monstrous shoes to fill, obviously.
Size 14, I reckon.
It's a pleasure to be back, though.
And just a big g'day to Adam. He's been in bed, couldn't get out of bed. His voice is gone with tonsillitis. He's in a pretty bad way. So hopefully he's back on deck in the next few days, and he'll certainly be back on Talking Fishing next week. And all the way from Tackle World in Geelong, filling in for Trelly, who is also away. He's hunting in Africa, would you believe? A big welcome to Mick Moore. Mick, welcome to Talking Fishing.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us again. And I suppose I've got some big shoes to fill with Steve there too.
Yeah, you have. No swearing, but plenty of gags, if that's okay. Now, we're not going to see Trelly on the front page of the Herald Sun next week, are we? With a white elephant or a rhinoceros or something like that, are we?
No, possibly a dove or a pheasant or something like that. Yeah, big game hunter.
Please, Trelly, I'm sure he's behaving himself in Africa. I'll tell you what, last week I spent the week with him on the Gold Coast.
That would have been tough.
And he just, you come home with sore stomach from laughing.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable, you know. So
he's a character.
Now, Mick, over your side, we love having you on because you are from Geelong and you know all that's going on there. How's Corio Bay been fishing? You know, the netters are all but gone.
Yep.
Anyone talking about it? Is the fishing good? How's it been?
I think the real thing that we've seen is the whiting, not more fish, but we're finding them holding up in the areas for a lot longer than they usually would. You'd normally say the grass beds at Queenscliff, get a really good catch out of there over a couple of days. The netters would go through and then they'd take a week to come back in there. But the whiting have just been sitting there and holding up and being undisturbed, and guys are really having some good sessions out there on them right through, and they're still going strong now.
Well, you've been having a great time over on the western seaboard of Port Phillip Bay. It's just been a little bit blowy, not many people out fishing. Let's have a look at why. This is Mornington Pier about a week or so ago. Now, it was only closed for, 2 years to be rebuilt.
Yeah, it wasn't too long.
No, not too long. That is a classic photo. Look how, that's unbelievable. I think 9 wave barriers have fallen off the pier since. Yeah, that's all. They've had to be lifted out of the water by a crane. We're told that they're in a warehouse somewhere being assessed, and it's got to be a little bit more of a rebuild. So I think part of the jetty's shut and all that sort of stuff. So it has been very tough conditions. But boys, let's have a look at what's being caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano, providing reliable, trustworthy, quality fishing gear for your enjoyment.
Now, I'm told there's already a stream of cars heading down to Portland. Calm seas predicted late this week and into the weekend, and it's going to be everywhere actually, in the bays and also down that way. But have a look at this. The first of the barrels, this was caught on Saturday, 124 kilos. Michael Day aboard Red Hot Fishing Charters, and Simon, he's just the gun, isn't he?
Yeah, there's no comparison. You know, he's caught a lot of big fish this in the last few seasons, and he seems to be doing the same this season.
Simon joined us up on the Gold Coast, so he was away up there for nearly a week. He worked on the Richter stand, and then he gets back, drives down to Portland, jumps in the boat. Saturday, I think, was pretty ordinary. I remember seeing in the clip on Facebook, he mentions they were 400 metres off the cliff, and it probably says they're less than 20 metres. You know, it's
there was a couple of barrels caught there. The nearest I've heard is 17 metres of water, and 30 metres, and that's in that bay between Bridgewater and Cape Nelson. They've got the pillies in there balled right up, and they've just been in there for ages, so they don't look like going anywhere in a hurry.
There's just so much bait in the area too, yeah.
Just a matter of getting out there. Let's have a look at the next one, 101 kilograms. You beat the ton, well done. Darren James out of Portland as well on Saturday, so another great fish coming from there, and just a little bit of weather. And I think we're going to see a fair onslaught of these fish. And Mick, earlier on you were saying grand final day was, or around that time was the day that they were caught out of the heads at Port Phillip. So, there's going to be some barrels around for a while.
Shouldn't be too far away.
If those pillies start moving along the coast, and there is already a lot of bait out there, whales and dolphins, hopefully we see a repeat because, it's great fun and close to home. You're not going through the petrol and all that sort of stuff. So
amazing fishing still to come. Let's go a bit more local now. Let's head to the capital of calamari, the Tyab Bank, and Dave Osmond sent us this one in about 2 weeks ago. Thought we'd put it up. That's a cracker of a calamari, boys.
Fantastic, and it pretty much is the capital of Western Port at the moment, especially on that incoming tide. That water really clears up. As you might notice it. Sometimes you can even, I'm always sight cast for the squid. But it's definitely a fantastic area to be targeting.
One of the great places to fish this time of the year when it is trout close season for the trout is up at Eildon Pondage, and Gary Chetwynd headed up there a couple of weekends ago actually and sent me the photo. A lovely brown trout from Lake Eildon, and maybe we're not going to... Oh yeah, there it is. Beautiful. Any fish out of there is pretty good.
And the pondage is just one of those areas too where it doesn't matter what the weather's doing. You can sit in the car. I know a good friend of the shop, Paul Lyle, he got a few last weekend, and just a great place to take the kids if you want to escape the bad weather.
I think looking at that hat, Gary took his horse and tied it to the tree, and it's just fantastic. So let's head back onto Western Port, and out of Hastings is Johnny Ferrugia. I think they say it like that. Johnny Ferrugia, a lovely snapper out of Hastings, and that's a beautiful winter-coloured snapper, isn't it?
It is. They're always quite red this time of the year, and it's great to see. There's still quite a few fish being landed. Previous seasons probably might have been a little bit better, but they are still being caught, which is really great to see.
Yep. Now let's head up north, and this is something to be believed or seen to be believed. The Merimbula wharf has seen a run of yellowtail kingfish not seen since around about 1988. Boys, that is class.
That's a big fish. Yep.
Yeah. When I saw these pics starting to go up on Facebook, I just about wanted to jump in the car and head straight up there because they are absolute cracker fish, and the condition on some of them is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
We had a few.
Good for this time of year too. Just sensational. So, if you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au.
Now, if you're heading out this weekend, don't forget to send us your pics to either that email or phone number. It'll be up on our Facebook page tomorrow if you want to see where that is. Let's go back to Merimbula, boys. Now, people at home, if you don't like a bit of blood on the photos, look away because unfortunately kingfish are quite a bloody animal. But have a look at some of these other photos that have surfaced from Merimbula. Now, I mean, they're lying on the deck in the background. Look, these are genuine 20-kilo fish, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Apparently, it's an early morning bite. I haven't seen a fish on Facebook for about 3 days now, so maybe they've shut down a little bit, but they did that the week before last as well and came back. But these are classy fish.
Yeah. You drive 12 hours to get to those fish. You drive, I'd walk over broken glass to catch one of them.
You'd just go up Friday after work, wouldn't you, and fish Saturday morning, Sunday morning. Have a look at that.
All surface, casting lures, so great fun.
Yep. Get up there, Merimbula. It's just an absolutely on-fire place. And if you want to see all the up-to-date information, get onto Tackle World Merimbula's Facebook page because that's where all the information is, boys. And like you're saying, surface lures and stuff like that, it doesn't come much better land-based yellowtail kingfish.
Spin gear, they give you a good hard pull, that's for sure.
Well, the other thing I was going to mention too, if you want to get on there and have a look on their Facebook page, Tackle World Merimbula. There's a clip. I don't know if you boys have seen it, but a guy hooks one. He gets it virtually to the bottom of the ladder. It's about a 15-minute climb up the ladder. He climbs down. One guy climbs down with a gaff, and then he's stuck. He can't pass it up. Another guy climbs down, grabs the gaff. He gets stuck. Another guy climbs down, grabs the gaff. They finally get up on the deck. It flips off the gaff and into the water and gone. It's got to be seen to be believed. But anyway,
it's all in the fun of it.
It is. Coming up on Talking Fishing Product of the Week, and we have all the details on the Port Phillip Bay Conference right after this.
talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing. Every day's a chance to drift away.
Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See you down at Tackle World today.
Product of the week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking fishing.
And welcome back to Talking Fishing Product of the Week. Now, normally Adam would be sitting in the seat doing Product of the Week. He's home in bed sick for the first show, just loving it, I tell you. He's probably got the feet up and, boys, the electric blanket on. Danny's probably making him a nice cup of tea and just sitting back there enjoying life and watching Talking Fishing. But anyway, hope you get well, ads. Boys, I was saying earlier on, just been up to the big AFTA show, the Australian Fishing Trade Association show up on the Gold Coast. It's held every year. It's one of those shows that's open for all the retailers to go in and see all the wholesalers and what's new, what's being released soon, all that sort of stuff. And just when you think that fishing gear can't get any better, or they can't design something new, the technology isn't going to change, they just keep doing it. And it's just amazing.
It's phenomenal with some of
It's
the
unbelievable. And some of the things that we saw would just blow you away. So we thought we'd bring in a few of those things, but they actually hold some awards. There's a big gala night on the Monday night, which was last Monday night, 8 days ago, and they have each different category. So we thought we'd show a few of those. But first up, just a big congratulations to the team at Shimano, because they did take out plenty of the awards, and I think we've got a bit of a slide there of all the boys and girl of Team Shimano. But they took out best rod, best reel, best combo, best line, best fishing accessory, best sales rep, best stand. I think that might be about it, but they won a few awards, and as you can see there, some pretty good awards there. So and well done, because they do keep reinventing fishing gear. It's absolutely amazing. So we might kick it off the first one, and like I say, just when you think that fishing reels can't get any better, along comes the updated version of the Shimano Stratic CI4 Plus FB model. It is a cracker. So they've introduced Hagani gear, which is the gear that's cold forged. It's the body. It just makes this, what used to be a very smooth reel, an absolute smooth reel like nothing else, and you really need to see it to believe it. It is the lightest fishing reel in the Shimano stable, and you won't be let down. It's size 1,000, 2.5, 3 and 4, and boys, have a feel of it.
Fantastic.
It doesn't get much better.
It doesn't. I bought one of the smaller models and I was using that over the weekend.
Yeah, I'll take that fishing rod.
And phenomenal. Like, I own a couple of Stellas, and I think it's just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
With some of the older stuff.
Mick, you've seen them all too?
Yeah, no, what they've done is made a great reel absolutely awesome. I mean, the 4,000, I know they've shaved about 30 grams off this one.
Yeah.
And I was using the previous model to catch school tuna on, and it was an absolute awesome little unit. Yeah.
So, new styled Shimano CI4 Plus, it's just got to be seen to be believed. Now, Shimano also took out the best combo. This is the Raider range of rods, and they were actually released earlier this year, but the Raider travel rods are now out in the new cosmetics, and they're just a fantastic fishing rod, coupled with a Nasky reel, Shimano Nasky reel. Now, this is the cheapest on the market, again with Hagani gearing and Hagani body. So this technology that started with Shimano Stella range, the top of the range, has slowly filtered down, boys. And so, Twin Power, the Stratic FK, the Stratic CI4, and now this little beauty here, the Nasky, it just makes a very affordable, top-class rod and reel. And just have a go on that.
It's great to see some of your sort of lower end reels just with these new components and different aspects of the reels, which can compete with a lot of your higher end sort of stuff, which it's going to be more affordable and very nice to use.
Yeah. You put the Raider range, which is an affordable range as well. It's
Exactly,
a beginner that wants to get into graphite rods. It's the perfect
It's
range.
not going to break
really.
the budget, and it's going to do what you need it to
and
do.
comes from bait casters to travel rods to light to heavy spin, all that sort of stuff. And the Nasky comes in 1s, 2.5s, 3s, 4s, and 5s.
There's a 5
The
there.
5's a nice little reel.
And I mean-
not out yet though, not in the shops quite yet, but very close.
They really look and feel $1 million.
Yeah.
To get this sort of technology 10 years ago in a reel, you would have been paying huge bucks in it. And
Exactly.
They're achievable for everyone, these ones.
Yeah. No, absolutely beautiful. Chuck that beside you, Mick. Now, our good friends at Spotters. They took out the best sunglasses in the stand, so congratulations to the team at Spotters. They've brought out a new lens called the Rebel, and it's pretty stylish, pretty trendy.
They're
it's not
quite
bad.
light too.
Yeah, they're
they're
all
a light one.
right. And look, I think it's very hard to keep reinventing sunglasses, boys, but they keep reinventing sunglasses, the team at Spotters, and comes in all the different lenses from the mirrors to the penetrators to extreme to all those ones.
Some to suit your fishing needs.
Not quite in the shops. I reckon they're probably a couple of days away.
a couple
I
of
know
days away.
Jason was on his push bike today, just getting the deliveries going like the postman and trying to get the Rebels into shops, but go and have a look at them. The Spotters Rebel frame. It's just a fantastic new frame. And there's a few of the different colours you can see there. Can't see them too well. Let's keep moving on. Richter took out the best game fishing lure, and you'll always see if you follow Simon Rinaldi on Facebook or Red Hot Fishing Charters, he just loves the Richter lures, and that is just a classic. Now, this is actually the bigger model. It's the Splash Medium in the UV blue that won the best game fishing lure, and they're just a gun lure, aren't they, boys?
Well, they have been for the last couple of seasons too, I think. A lot of big fish have been caught on them, school fish as well, so they just seem to be that all-round lure that catches a lot of fish.
Yeah.
And the thing about that blue lure, you put it in the water on a dull day and it's almost like it's got a light in it. It
Lights
just
up.
glows up.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Beautiful UV. So that's that one, boys. And just to name a few of the others, because there was a lot of awards and I won't keep going all night, but best rod was the Shimano Zodius. Check them out. Best line, Shimano Kariki Braid. Now, that's not in the shops yet. It's, I think, about a month away, but you just think there's that many braids on the
quite
market,
exciting though,
and
yeah.
it just keeps getting better, and this is just a really, really good braid. The best soft lure, River to Sea Smash Crab. Sounds like a cocktail you get in a bar. You'd probably see it on Facebook and all that social media stuff.
Videos.
Cranker crabs are good. This is a real soft crab, and it's it'll work on the snapper in the bay.
Yeah, they are a bigger lure, and those snapper will
and balance
just eat
well.
like
The
bobbles.
legs wobble. They had it in a tank swimming. It's just fantastic. Best hard lure, Halco Max 190. Best terminal tackle was Nomad Tackle's Raptor Z hooks. Best fly fishing rod was James Gillies Sage X. Best fly fishing reel, Pure Fishing's Hardy Fortuna. Best fly fishing line was Rio Big Nasty. Best clothing accessory was Shimano OSHA gloves. Best tackle management was the Plano 467330. Check them out. Best fishing accessory was the Rapala floating aerator. Just when you think aerators are just aerators, they come up with a floating one. It's just fantastic. And best marine electronics, Lowrance Elite 7 Ti. Boys, also worth mentioning, the best tackle shop awards were held up there, and the best shop overall in Australia went to George's in Darwin. Now, I was up there for my grandson's first birthday in Darwin back in May, and I went into George's and I walked in and I went, wow.
Yeah, I've heard they've outlaid a bit of money and they've done really well with it, so congratulations to them.
Excuse me, it's a business that's been there 30, 40 years, moved into new premises, and absolutely beautiful. So deserved winners. Well done to George's, plus many other awards on the night. It was just fantastic, but a good night had by all. Now, boys, excuse me, I've got the coughs tonight. Just want to talk about the Port Phillip Bay Conference, which is coming up. I'm going to talk about it a bit more as well, but the Port Phillip Bay Conference, it's a unique thing that has never been held before in Melbourne. It's being held not this Friday, but next Friday, the 12th of August. It's at the Altona Theatre, 5:30 till 9, so knock off work early next Friday, excuse me, and come along. The Minister will be there to open it, Jala Pulford, Minister responsible for fisheries. A few of the guest speakers, there's plenty more, but include Rex Hunt, myself, Dr. Corey Green, he's going to be talking about calamari and kingfish science. Paul Hamer is going to be talking about snapper as well as habitat, restoration. He's talking about all the artificial reefs and the natural reefs. Travis Dowling, and if you want to book your seat to that, you must email improving.fishing@ecodev.vic.gov.au. That's ECODEV. It's on your screen there. We'll put it up on Facebook tomorrow. Boys, anyone that wants to know anything about the health of the bay right now in regards to recreational fishing, it's worth having a look at and
great place to put out some questions, you know. There'll be a lot of information on the night. I wouldn't mind going down myself.
Absolutely. So I'm told there is about 50 seats left, so get in quick please and email that email address. Another big event that's on next week is Australia's biggest talk night for calamari and cuttlefish. It's on next Wednesday, the 10th of August, 7 o'clock at night down at Mornington Mazda. $10 gets you in the door and you get pizza and drinks for that. Dr. Corey Green again will talk about squid, and he's going to talk in depth, not just a 5 or 10 minute presentation like he will on the Friday night. Get there on Wednesday night, have a look at what he's got to say. He's also going to talk about the big influx of cuttlefish that have come into the bay. The fishing panel, myself, Adam, Cal, you've pulled out. We're going to get a replacement for you. We'll announce that next week. Cleaning demonstrations, massive squid gear sale, lucky door prizes. To book your seat, call either Tackle World Cranbourne or Mornington on the numbers on your screen there. Tomorrow morning, both shops will be Cranbourne's open at 8, Mornington's at 9.
You didn't catch that squid, did you, Dave?
I knew you were going to be... No, technically not. I was on the boat and Fee wouldn't hold it up, so I did. So there you go. Anyway, I think you're allowed to hold up someone else's squid that's on your boat, aren't you? So anyway, that was August this time last year. So pretty good time of year to be talking squid, getting into squid, and I reckon there's a few people. The weather's looking pretty good this weekend. I reckon a few people will be hitting the squid. Where's the number one spot off Geelong?
For the squid?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know Chris from the store went out on Sunday and he managed to bag out in about 50 minutes, and that was off Clifton Springs.
There you go.
So they're right around from Queenscliff all the way
size
through. Yeah, they were that good eating size with probably 30 centimetre hoods.
Yep.
So perfect for the pan.
There you go. Now, Mick, so you've talked about Clifton Springs later on the show. I'm going to ask you about the hot spots for some of the big ones, traditional Swan Bay, Queenscliff, Point Lonsdale, those sort of places. So we'll talk about that shortly. But up next, fisheries news, including the very successful Fishing Club Grants program. All the details right after this on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
I'll tell you what, there is plenty happening in the news of fishing, and I can only cover so much, but let's get into it. The first one, whiting are biting, but don't be greedy. Anglers are reporting excellent catch rates for King George whiting between Indented Head and Queenscliff, but some people will be fronting court for allegedly being too greedy. During a targeted patrol, fisheries officers searched a vessel at St Leonard's and allegedly found 14 King George whiting above the limit, hidden on board. Now, 20 is enough, seriously. This guy, a Pascoe Vale man, is expected to be charged by summons to appear at the Geelong Magistrates Court at a date to be fixed. The fish, the boat, and his fishing equipment were all seized, boys. And it's the lesson in that is, you know, if you're gonna hide them, stash them under the hull or whatever you're going to do, that just says you're doing something illegal.
Guilty,
you know about it. And for 14 King George whiting, he lost his car, his boat, and every bit of fishing gear. It's just not worth it. 20 fish, 40 fillets is enough.
It's quite sad. How much whiting do you need? You know, you can only feed so many people.
Fishers considering concealing their catch need to be aware that they risk their boat being seized as a consequence. There you go. So please, why would you risk it? Why would you risk it? You want to hide a fish? Doesn't matter if you hide one fish, you're going to lose your gear and the car that towed it and the boat that you're fishing out of. So unbelievable that people do that. 14 fish over. Victoria welcomes 9 new fisheries officers, boys. There's been a whole recruitment process. I'm told about 300 applicants, something like that. 315 actually. I'll talk about that in a minute. But the 9 new fisheries officers, 1 will go to Horsham, 1 to Portland, 3 to Yarram, 2 to Mallacoota, and 1 each to Traralgon and Mornington. The other day marks the end of 10 weeks of training that covered everything from small boat handling to testifying in court. The recruitment program began in August last year when 315 applicants were received, and shortlisted applicants went through a competitive recruitment process involving psychometric testing, first round telephone interviews, face-to-face interviews, and a scenario-based assessment centre. Their training has included legal, defensive driving, community education, fisheries management, and an understanding of recreational commercial fisheries, both inland and marine. So it's a tough gig.
It is.
It's like the best of the best, boys. And if you want to be a fisheries officer, and Cal, you'd like to be.
Yep, for
You'd
sure.
love a job doing that. Out of 315, 9 made it, and a fair bit of comprehensive training, and goes to show that we've got some pretty good people in fisheries.
It's good to see that there's more people out there too. We want to see as many officers as we can. I think so we're catching the guys doing the wrong thing and making sure everyone's doing the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Boys, this is another bad news story. I tell you what, you just wonder what gets into people's heads. Fisheries Victoria praises good tuna fisher behaviour. Fisheries Victoria has congratulated the majority of southwest anglers and people who visited the region on their general positive fishing actions and behaviour so far in the southern bluefin tuna season. Fisheries Officer Cameron McCallum said during June and July, 9 fisheries officers from across Victoria conducted over 350 boat and land-based inspections at Portland and Port Fairy. The fisheries officer detected 12 alleged offenders in total and seized 6 SBT. These offences included not having a current recreational fishing licence and failing to land SBT in carcass form. So you must keep your tuna in carcass form if you're going to bring it back to the ramp or whatever. Cut it up on the table. That's the message in that one. Mr. McCallum also said a 43-year-old male charter vessel operator is expected to be charged on summons after he was allegedly detected with a commercial quantity of southern bluefin tuna. A vehicle was intercepted near Warrnambool after the June long weekend. This is going back into June, and contained 14 whole southern bluefin tuna.
What are you doing with them?
So guys run a charter out of Portland. He's then driving back to Melbourne. They've pulled him over there. But it gets worse. The man admitted to officers that 4 of the fish belonged to him. This was despite fisheries officers previously speaking to him at Portland regarding possession limits for southern bluefin tuna. So they've pulled him up at Portland, had a chat to him. He's packed his boat away or wherever. He's on the road back home. Gets pulled over at Warrnambool, and guess what? He got 14 whole ones. Whole ones.
Yeah, you can only do
I'm losing my voice tonight. I think I'm catching it off Adam in sympathy. I'll go on. There is a daily bag limit of 2 fish per person, but also a statewide possession limit of 2 whole southern bluefin tuna. This means if you're caught in possession of 3 or more southern bluefin tuna in whole form, sorry about that, or 160 kilos of fillets anywhere in Victoria, it is classed as a commercial quantity and serious penalties may apply. These regulations are in place so that recreationally caught SBT are not sold. Got to look after those fish.
It's not like 2 tuna aren't enough too. Sometimes you get a lot of meat off even like a 5-10 kilo fish. So some people abusing.
What do you reckon a bloke with 14 is going to do with them?
You'd have to be selling them.
I think so.
The other thing is they don't freeze at all. You've got to eat them fresh. They're terrible once they've been frozen, but they're beautiful fresh. So, just take what you can eat within a couple of days, which is normally one fish about 15 kilos, enough for everyone.
Sounds like that charter operator didn't actually give his clients any fish that day. He took off 14. Anyway, better stop talking about him because don't get me started, I tell you. And last but not least, a bit of news. Congratulations to the 50th Fishing Club grant recipient, the Greensborough and District Angling Club. They received their $2,000. It's going to celebrate their 90th anniversary, and they're holding an open day on October 23rd, encouraging people to join. It was a big night down there, and the novelty check was a real hit. The Stronger Fishing Club's grant program is open until March next year, and it's all part of the Target 1 Million plan, getting more people fishing more often. If you want to apply for that, go to www.vic.gov.au, Stronger Fishing Clubs to apply. It's just fantastic to do that. And some of the things that the grants recipients have been spending their money on, boys, now there's pages of them, so I won't read them all, obviously, but just a couple of classics. Fishing clubs, this is called a Fly Fishing Association, growing membership to 100 by running a club open day, barbecue hire, additional fly casting equipment, etc, etc. Melbourne Bunyip Sporting Club is going to hold a catch a carp competition and carp awareness, and Port Fairy, they're going to replace the club shed. The $2,000 will contribute to the building of the shed that will be used to store equipment for kids fishing days, club meetings, etc. So plenty of them. Might read out a few more next week because there's some fantastic stories there, boys.
The carp one's interesting.
Yeah,
very
but all
interested in
sorts.
that.
It's all good. So up next, KRAMERS Mailbag, and we have a look at the growth rate of Barramundi and Hazelwood Pondage right after this on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
Make mine a Mornington.
G'day, David Kramer here. I'm a massive fan of the Mazda BT50, having personally driven and owned one for more than 5 years now. And to tell you what, you can't beat them for an all-round great ute and a great tow vehicle. Get into Mornington Mazda before the end of the month and grab yourself a run-out bargain. Plus, with every BT50, you get all this $500 worth of fishing gear for free. I made mine a Mornington Mazda.
Make mine a Mornington Mazda.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome back to Talking Fishing. I've got the old glass of water happening now, and the old throat's going on the first show. I think in sympathy of Adam. Trelly's not here.
Nerves.
Boys are helping me out. No, don't worry about the nerves. Now, boys, this is some genuine mail. Come in the post office.
Handwritten and
The only thing, yeah, it's
People still
handwritten.
send mail.
Now it's from Moe, right? And Peter's put $1.20 worth of stamps on it. Is it? The mail's not $1.20 these days,
You
is it?
handwritten that as well.
It's all
You
handwritten.
don't get that very often these days.
No,
Personal,
no.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
like that.
and
I like
it's
that.
pretty good. But $1, it must be a long way to Moe, is it, for the postman or something?
Oh, it's a while
$1.20?
down there.
Yeah, there's different in
Long ride
Moe,
on the
but
bike.
hey Pete, we love you, but they are different in Moe, I can tell you. All right, so Pete writes, no, well they are. Are they a bit different? Same with Morwell. Mick from Morwell's different.
Oh,
I spent a week with him last week on the Gold Coast. On you, Mick. Hi guys, great show. I wouldn't miss it. I'm on a disability support pension. Peter writes, I think that there is a significant number of pensioners, myself included, who would like to contribute to the fishing facilities via a recreational fishing licence. However, it's quite hard these days to pull out a redback for a one-off payment. I thought a way that might work is this. Pensioners that choose to sign up for an RFL could have $1 per payment directly debited to an account set up by the Victorian Government for just that purpose. Direct debits are provided free of charge. This equates to $26 per year. Must be $1 a fortnight then, is it? $26 per year per pensioner. This money could be used for a great number of projects. I personally would like to see money and government pressure being used to amalgamate all Victorian boat ramps under one banner. That way a maintenance program can be put in place. It's needed badly. I would hope that from the hundreds of thousands of pensioners in Victoria that a meaningful number would be willing to take part. Again, great show, good health and tight lines. P.S. Just thinking of my Black Queen Deluxe, I matched it with a brown Daiwa 2000. There you go, he's old school, Peter. There's still a Black Queen in Moe. I thought someone would have knocked it off by now, but anyway. No, we love Moe. It's all good. We love Moe. So well done, Pete. And I tell you what, so many other people like yourself think the same way. Pensioners, whether you want to buy one, whether you want one free, we reckon everyone should have a licence. At least we can tell how many people go fishing. Another one, boys, handwritten.
So old school.
Sorry, it's 3 pages, and this is a cracker of a story. I've got to read it. I'm sorry, boys, but yeah, all the old school ones. This is from Graham in Tyab, and Graham writes, in some of your shows, you have taken up the cause for a review of the fishing licence. It's all about fishing licences tonight. Along similar lines, I would like you to consider taking up the cause of changing the boating licence system in Victoria. In 2008, when it was introduced, I was all for it, as I thought it would educate boaters and reduce the idiot effect. After passing the test, I was shocked to find out that the fees would be an ongoing slug. I then realised the funds were used to create what I consider, it's going to get bad, a pseudo water police in the marine safety officers. Having watched over the 5 years of my licence an ineffectual organisation, I chose to become a conscientious objector and didn't review my licence. Right, it gets better. It gets better. I've got to read it. I still continued, as I have for 40 years, to boat fish twice a week, year-round, weather permitting. Who is this? Graham writes, I knew I would get caught sooner or later. In February 2015 at Hastings, he got caught. It was the big day. I got an infringement notice 6 days later. Have a guess how much? $738. Ooh. I refused to pay. It keeps getting better. I've got to keep reading this. That's why 3 pages of it. Well done, Graham. I refused to pay the fine on principle, and I received a summons on Christmas Eve, 10 months later. I had to wait a further 3.5 months to have my day in court. And he had to pay, $180 court costs and $150 fine. And I'm not sure whether that's on top of the $738, or did he get out of it cheaper?
He sounds like he did all right.
I reckon Graham's on a winner here anyway. But no, I shouldn't say that. My point is this: be like Queensland, sit the test, a licence for life, no additional cost, and no, I'm not shifting to Queensland. Put power back to the water police, increase their numbers who can be used in other duties when gets worse, when conditions are unsuitable for patrolling. Hell knows what marine safety officers do when the weather is crap. Maybe polish their 4x4s, boats and jet skis we paid for. I'm just reading out what Graham wrote. Take teaching and education off boaters and new boaters out of the hands of private individuals who churn out licensed newbies who have no real clue or practical boat time. Make this role for marine safety. Thank you from Graham. P.S. I'm not really a radical, just a passionate boater who still sees people doing the wrong thing most trips. There you go.
I like some of the points though.
He's actually on the money there. A couple of guys that have taken some time to do some handwriting and just love your work. Thanks, boys. I really enjoy that. If you'd like to write to me or these blokes, this is what you do.
Send your mail to KRAMERS Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
Now, boys, one of the greatest projects ever to come to fishing in Victoria has got to be the Barramundi into Hazelwood. You hear about it much over your way, Mick?
Yeah, we do, and there is a bit of a buzz amongst a few of the guys that are really keen to get into it, and they're just waiting for that day that they can.
I don't know when that day will come, but there's been some remarkable results, and I'm not going to take away the thunder of Anthony Forster, who's the manager of inland fisheries. Anthony's joining us on the couch next week in place of Trelly, who's still away in Africa hunting. Adam will be back next week, by the way, but Anthony will be in. He's going to give us all the results of the Barramundi in Hazelwood, up-to-date results. But I just want you to have a look at this one photo because it is amazing. So that's a Fisheries Victoria scientist, Brett Ingram.
It's a football.
He's the guy, yeah, and in his hands is a football, but that is a Barramundi, a Victorian Barramundi, and you just got to go, wow, that is amazing. Now, without saying the whole story, that fish was part of the very early acclimatisation trial that was held in September last year, where about 20 fish were held in a swimming pool, if you like, on the side of the lake, recirculating water for about a week just to check that they would be all right with that water quality. They were fine. Those fish were tipped into the lake at the end of the trial, and no one knew. That fish was 30 centimetres long and 500 grams. It is now 76 centimetres long and 6 kilos.
Wow. The growth rate's phenomenal, actually, isn't it? And with the amount of bait in there, can't imagine what they're going to be like in another year's time.
Yeah.
So
no, it's going to be amazing. So now, I won't steal Anthony's thunder, but there was 1,600 fish in April that we went down to and recorded that little story down there, and you'll hear some results about that next week. But I tell you what, 76 centimetres and 6 kilo from 8 months, 9 months.
That's insane.
That is insane, and we could be looking at a 1 metre Barramundi fishery in the not too distant future. So, unbelievable. Another big event that we wanted to cover, boys, is the Melbourne 4x4 Fishing and Boating Expo. It's only just around the corner as well. It's on the 19th to 21st of August. The open times are Friday 9 till 6, Saturday 9 till 6, Sunday 9 till 5. If you want to buy some cheap tickets, $15 tickets, they can be bought at a couple of tackle shops around the place, or you can head to 4x4show.com.au and buy them there. Put in the code iFish, the promo code iFish, and you'll get your tickets for $15. Buy them now. You don't have to queue up when you get there, and it's a fantastic show. And I've seen some of the lineups that are going to be there this year. Steve Starlow is coming down to talk. Travis Dowling, the head of fisheries. Now, I know we get him on the couch here and we might get some mail to him and all that, but he's actually going to be on the stage with Paul and I, and he's going to answer some questions. So if you want to talk to the head of Fisheries Victoria, the chance to do that is the Melbourne 4x4 and Outdoors Fishing and Boating Expo in a few weeks' time. There you go, boys. I want to read out a few more of these if I can, boys, because during the break I just marked a couple that I thought were pretty good. Down your way, Cal, you used to live down Blind Bight way.
Yeah,
you still do?
One 8 now. So.
Oh yeah, I see. Oh, so you moved to
Graduated.
Blind Bight North.
Yeah.
How's this one? They're spending their $2,000, and this is the beauty of this whole thing by the state government. $2,000 to your club to make your club a better place. Blind Bight, they're promoting a comfortable environment for new and existing members through the installation of a wood heater and new seating.
It sounds cosy.
That's cosy, and it's bloody cold down at Blind Bight. What a better, more inviting thing to do than put a wood heater in the corner and just enjoy it. It's pretty good.
Keep your toes warm, that's for sure.
Yep. Horsham, there's a membership drive, family fishing day, accommodation, food, awards for new participants, advertising and promotional apparel. I'm going to read them just randomly. Thorpe, Dale and District Angling Club, Blue Rock Dam Bass Fishing Membership Drive, including barbecue, food, advertising and brag mats, so they're going to run a bit of an event down there. Lake Parambeat Angling Club is going to do advertising of club 12 editions of in 12 editions of 2 popular fishing magazines, so they're just going to place an ad. Where's another one? Apsley, I've got no idea where Apsley is. No idea. Develop a website to keep members up to date, informed and engaged, regular updates on planned competitions, information about joining and being a member, and the Alpine Anglers Club up near Dartmouth, they're going to do radio and television advertising for the club. So just gives you a bit of an idea of what the clubs are spending on. It doesn't matter how big, how small, it's just a great little program. $2,000 to any club. If you want to be in it, just apply for that funding and you'll get it. Coming up, this week's Hotspots, and we take a look at Toolondo Reservoir. It's in Strife, next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
G'day, Kallan here from Paul Worslam's Tackle World KRAMERS.
Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start.
I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat.
Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for, Fishing Hotspots. Get on 'em, it's where the fish are.
And earlier we were talking about the big calamari. There's a big talk night on next Wednesday night down at Mornington Mazda. Get on it if you want to come along and have a listen about how to catch the big ones. And the capital, or one of the capitals of the big ones right now, is Blairgowrie, boys. And there's some big monsters lurking, not in the depths. I'm talking 3-4 metres of water. There's some good fish down there that way.
Even land-based too. There's a lot of people getting some good squid off the pier down at Blairgowrie, which is very good to see.
I love this time of year because the water's so crystal clear, isn't it? All that little bit of algae that forms in, and not that you can really see it, but it clouds up the water a little bit in the summer months. But this time of year, is just crystal clear cold water.
Yeah.
And the calamari just love it, don't they?
Oh, it's fantastic, especially when you can see it coming up behind your jig. There's nothing better.
There will be a lot of boats down that way this weekend, and you'd be mad not to dust off the boat if it's got dust on it, because it's going to be a calm weekend, and there hasn't been too many of those in the last 3 months, so get down there. Mick, over your side of the bay, St Leonard's has been fishing very, very well as well.
Yeah, it's probably been the feature location around the peninsula. The whiting continue to go from strength to strength down there. We probably would have thought we would have seen them taper off a bit, but guys are still getting out and getting their regular bag limit captures. The same areas on the slack water have been producing some really good squid, and reports are that quite a few of those squid are starting to get their eggs down already as well.
Yeah,
so,
there you go.
you know, when they start guarding those eggs, they really get territorial and make them really good fun to catch. And out in the deeper water off St Leonard's, there has been the odd bigger snapper and a few nice gummies as well.
There you go. Let's head over to Western Port now, and like we mentioned earlier on, the capital for calamari in Western Port is the Tyre Bank. And Cal, you've been heading over that way a little bit in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, well, it's been pretty crappy, the weather the last couple of weeks, but prior to that we did get a few.
Hang on, you tow your boat into work almost every Friday and go fishing before you come into work on Friday.
That is true, that is true.
Yeah, so the old 12 o'clock start makes it good for fishing in the morning.
12:31 sometimes.
But Tyre Bank, you were mentioning the incoming tide's the best?
Incoming tide I find really good. The water clears up. We were talking about the water does get nice and clear this time of the year, but Western Port can still be a bit dirty, especially after there's been a bit of rain.
A bit of rain?
Yeah, or being quite a muddy-based system. But as soon as that incoming tide comes in, you can see the squid hovering over the weed beds, and this time of the year they are full of eggs and they can get quite aggressive.
Yeah. Next one, Crawfish Rock, the top end of Western Port, is another good place to be, and some nice snapper off there if you're looking for a winter snapper, Cal.
For sure. A lot of guys sort of mistake this sort of area and they want to head up into the shallows, but this time of the year area, 10 metres, 10 to 15 metres of water, there are some good fish. We got a nice one in the off crawfish, would have been about 5-6 weeks ago, would have gone 5-6 kilos. So.
Next one, Portland, has got to be one of the hot spots for probably the next few months, Mick.
Yeah.
The barrels are in close, the bait's there, plenty of people heading down there.
Yeah, I think it's going to continue on. I mean, it's a year-round fishery these days, the southern bluefin, and you know, this time of the year guys seem to taper off on it a little bit, but you know, there's plenty of fish out there, and there's plenty of big fish around off the coast there as well. And don't forget, it's not only tuna down there as well as that. You got some, you know, you head out into sort of 40 metres, between 40 and 100 metres. You've got some absolutely cracking bottom fishing out there for some awesome gummy sharks, snapper, mowies, stripy trumpeter, and you know, there's options there, and you can get a great feed of fish off those reefs.
Yeah,
even land-based too, you can get a lot of good whiting. This time of the year, you'll get your snapper, especially off the lee breakwall there. It's a phenomenal fishery, Portland, and whiting even,
Have you seen some of the pics of the pillies they've had balled up near the lee breakwall?
Oh, phenomenal.
I've seen them,
Dives,
unbelievable.
Birds diving,
yeah.
Incredible. And for those guys that love a bit of the old-fashioned surf fishing, I don't think too many people talk about it these days because there is so many good options. But if you want to head down to Kilcunda, there is some beautiful salmon running down there, and a lot of guys using baited and surf poppers in the surf, and it's been pretty good down
Yellow
there.
surf poppers have been the key. I've heard, yellow ones from a lot of guys, but lure anglers doing pretty well there too. So good thing about, you know, chucking spinners, more your metal slugs and stuff around, you can cover ground a lot of the time, rather than sitting in the one spot. But still a lot of the bait guys are getting some good fish.
Yep, very good. So there's your hot spots for the week. Mick, while we're on it, that area sort of Lonsdale Bight, Queenscliff, entrance to Swan Bay, are the big ones in there?
Yeah, there's been some crackers like one that you showed earlier, that 3.5 kilo stuff. And now's the time they really start to move in. Sort of starting right on the edge of the marine park in the Lonsdale Bight there, all the way around the grass beds and up towards the mouth of Swan Bay is where you get those really big fish. But generally the bigger ones move into the Bight first and make their way up the bay from there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right, let's change the subject a little bit. We said we'd have a look at Toolondo, and if you want to have a look on some of the Facebook pages to do with Toolondo Reservoir, you'll see a whole lot of a series of photos taken from a drone, and we've got one that we wanted to show you now, just to show you what the place is looking like now. And this was taken on Sunday, and it's no more one big reservoir. It's virtually three ponds now, isn't it? pretty sad state of affairs. And the fact of the matter is, there's only one thing that's going to make it any better, and that's water.
Yeah.
And water is scarce. You know, it's not getting the rains that perhaps Gippsland is or Eildon's getting, and places like that. They are just struggling.
Divide,
yeah, so I mean, it doesn't get any clearer than that. It's a beautiful shot taken from a drone, like we said, and you can see just in that left-hand side there, that's where the channel runs in. Now, the bigger lake is the one up the back right-hand side. And look, there's all sorts of talk going on about where's the water. You know, the water in Rocklands isn't near what it was last year.
Yeah.
But there's still some environmental flows going out and in down the river, and people aren't happy about that. The environmental water holders bought 5,000 megs, but I'm not sure they're doing anything with it. Look, it's complicated. There's no easy solution other than we need rain, but yeah, look, Mick, I don't know. What are people saying over your side?
There's a lot of grey areas, and everyone's...
There's a lot of angry people, isn't there? But what do you do?
There's some fantastic fish sitting in those 3 ponds down there at the moment. I know Trevor Holmes has been down there and pulled a couple of nice fish out. I mean, I'm not really aware of all the options they've got for down there. There's a lot of them, but no one seems to be, I mean, other than the boys that are pushing for water to go in, nobody's really helping them out and acting on it.
No, and unfortunately, well, if there's anyone that's trying to help, it's probably Fisheries Victoria. And you know, we were very lucky nearly 2 years ago to get that 5,000 meg through virtue. We had to go to the Premier and ask, you know,
so quick, hasn't it?
It has, you know, and that probably got it through last summer, but that is not going to last another summer unless it gets more water. So next week we will talk to Anthony Forster about some possible solutions. He's not going to come in here with any promises, but at least we might talk through some of the possibilities. But it's not going to be easy, and I think people just need to realise that it's going to take it. Well, I don't know whether lobbying's going to get it over the line. It needs rain, basically.
There's a world-class fishery sitting there.
Yeah, and that's the beauty. If it was just little yearlings or something in there, probably, you know, wouldn't be the emotion around it, but we know that they're very, very big fish in there. So you'll hear about that more on Talking Fishing next week. That's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we appreciate you sticking with us for another season of Talking Fishing. Next week we're joined by Anthony Forster from Fisheries Victoria, who will discuss all the details on Barramundi in Hazelwood Pondage, plus the upcoming trout opening and some possible solutions to the water shortage in Toolondo. A must-watch show next week. Some calm days forecast on the bays this weekend. If you're heading out, make sure you send us pics for next week's show. Until then, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.